you need to learn how to choose your discomfort. It is uncomfortable to fail. It is uncomfortable to not get the fucking thing that you want, right? But it is more uncomfortable to realize that you have potential and you're just not activating it.
You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in.
Hi, Queen. Okay, I know that you need to hear this today. So, I'm here to tell you that no one is coming. No one is going to come and tell you that you're good enough. Nobody is here to grade you and give you 100% or an A+. Nobody is going to give you the validation that you think that you need. Nobody is going to come and save you. You have to decide that you are good enough for yourself and for your business to thrive. The only reason why you haven't signed your next client, the only reason why you're in a sales plateau, the only reason why you are experiencing the struggle in your business that you're currently experiencing, the only reason why you haven't scaled your business past that income amount that you know energetically you're at, but you keep trying to fix it with fucking strategy, is because of the belief of who am I to do this? You have that belief on repeat over and over again. So you don't do the things that you would be doing if you believe that you were the kind of person who could have that or who could do that, simply because of this little belief and this thought that runs through the back of your head every time you create a piece of content, every time you go to hire somebody in your business or do something new or find this strategy or do this or do that. Who am I to do this? When I first started my business, I had who am I to do this on fucking repeat as I scaled and as I started to take on more clients, as I started to get a bit more edgy with my content. Right? I had this belief on repeat. And I had to do the identity work. I really had to learn how to eliminate subconsciously this belief of who am I to do this. I had to silence that belief, right? I have a stutter. I've talked about it a lot on the pod. It's in my intro. My clients definitely know I have a stutter. Like, it is something that I live with every single day. And in the beginning, it was so easy for me to default to like, who am I to do this? Because I had a good reason. Because I was like, who am I to lead a group program? Who am I to sell my offer and to speak confidently about this when I get social anxiety in a room full of strangers because I'm afraid to stutter in front of them? Like, I'm afraid to introduce myself, right? We all have our reasons as to why we tell ourselves why we're not good enough, and why who am I to do this is the most normal question in the world. For a lot of my clients, this has looked like their cultural background. It has looked like the way that they were raised and the trauma that they endured. It has looked like that they feel like that they don't have the right degree or the right certifications. For some clients, it has been that they feel cringe on social media, or they think like, am I too old to be doing this? It's all just a flavor of who am I to do this? Who am I to have success? Who am I to receive this opportunity or these opportunities? Who am I to get this referral? Who am I to sign this client? Who am I to say that I can help somebody achieve this result? And the difference between you and the people who you see like speaking on stages and the people that you see sharing their screenshots of their clients getting results, of you and the people who are like boldly claiming that they can help somebody in selling their offer, is they do not let this thought stop them, and they've learned to ask themselves, who am I to not? Who am I to not fucking do this? Because if I don't, somebody else will. And then I'm going to be looking at that person and thinking to myself, that's literally the exact thought that I had. Those are literally the exact things that I thought. That's the stuff that I wanted to talk about. That is the work that I want to do. I was coaching a client a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about this conversation that she had with like a potential client, and it was a referral. And after she had this conversation, she was kind of like, like I feel like I could have done better than I did, but I still have a hard time, like really advocating for myself and for my accomplishments and really having the confidence to be like, I can help you. And of course I asked why. And of course we deduced that it would be very uncomfortable for her to really own her results and her accomplishments and the things that she's achieved and how she really can help somebody because of her cultural upbringing, because of her background, because of the way that she was taught to not take up space. And I said, but I want to give you some perspective that like, you're uncomfortable now. You're uncomfortable with the fact that you feel like you didn't do your best. You're still beating yourself up. So you need to learn how to choose your discomfort. It is uncomfortable to fail. It is uncomfortable to not get the fucking thing that you want, right? But it is more uncomfortable to realize that you have potential and you're just not activating it. I would rather deal with the discomfort of being a little cringe, of boldly and confidently talking about my offer, about posting something that like feels a bit uncomfortable to post. I would rather deal with that discomfort. I would rather deal with the discomfort of having a sales call with somebody or a DM conversation with somebody and pitching to them if that is something that I feel is necessary, if I feel like that is something that is appropriate, right? I would rather deal with that discomfort than deal with the discomfort of never trying, of never putting myself out there, of never activating my potential. Either way, I'm fucking uncomfortable because business is uncomfortable. You're putting yourself out there. You are putting your heart out there. You are saying to people, buy from me. You are being vulnerable. A lot of the time, this comes with sharing intimate details about your life, about the work that you do, your stories. This is not an easy job to have. And just because the medium in which we share these things is on social media, people think like it should be easier. And a lot of us have this expectation going into it that this should be easy because, I'm just posting content. I'm just posting reels. And aside from like the strategic side of things, it is not easy to bare your soul. It is not easy to be 100% authentic and you. It is not easy to confidently say, I can help you do X, Y, Z, right? Because all of the implications that come with it. Fear of success is so real. Fear of getting everything you want is so real. There are a lot of people out here who claim that they want 10K months, who claim that they want this and that, but they're not doing even a fraction of the work that it takes to get there. But most of all, they are constantly telling themselves, who am I to do this? Who am I to have this? Who am I to even desire this? With this same client, we actually had a conversation around deserving when it came to her having this conversation with this person that she had an opportunity with, right? Before she even had the call with this person, she was like, this was a referral And there's a lot of lack of deservingness coming up. And I was like, what if nobody deserves anything? And we took deservingness off the table, because who am I to say that somebody deserves this? Who are you to say that you don't or do deserve something? Deservingness sounds moral, and a lot of the time we get caught up in this moral perfectionism and like what's good and what's bad, but that's not how the real world is. How the world is people get things that they go after. I do think that running a business and being a good coach, being a good service provider has a lot to do with like skill and reinventing yourself and personal development, all of these things. And also, when you just have the tenacity and you are going to show the fuck up for yourself day in and day out, that is why I have the results that I do. That is why I have a multiple six-figure business. That is why I wrote a best-selling self-help book in 6 months, because I was just fucking relentless. And I was like, who am I to fucking write a book? I'm like in my late 20s. I don't have like years and years and years of experience. Like, I am not even educated in imposter syndrome, the topic, even though I have psychology and all of these things, right? Like, there were tons of moments that I had where I was asking myself, who am I to do this? And I also really do think like writing a book on something will bring up all the imposter syndrome. And it was so funny because I was like battling the imposter syndrome from writing a book as I'm writing a book on imposter syndrome, and it was so fucking meta. It was crazy. But if who am I to do this was something that was going to hold me back, I would have never written that book. But instead, I learned how to talk to myself. Instead, I learned this was not about fucking deservingness. The people that get what they want are the people that go after it relentlessly. The people that are worthy decide that they are worthy. They are not looking for the validation or for someone to say you are good enough. And that's why I said at the beginning of this episode, no one is coming to fucking save you. You have to decide that you are good enough. You have to do the personal development work and the subconscious reprogramming and the identity work with the outcome in mind, that the goal is to see yourself in a different way. And if you are so stuck on holding on to an old identity, of holding on to how others see you, how others perceive you, you won't make any fucking money. Because a big thing here, a big thing in terms of like having a successful business is seeing yourself as a leader, as seeing yourself as somebody that people want to learn from, want to listen to, as somebody who people want to like respect and again, learn from, hear from, right? And you can only do that when you hold yourself in high regard. This is not just like a fluffy identity concept. This is the truth, because all of the content you create, all of the work you create for your clients, the trainings, all of these things, if you don't see yourself as somebody who is worthy of attention and taking up space and sharing your knowledge and sharing your expertise and being seen as a big deal, as an authority, right? Oh, it bugs me to no end when someone's like, oh, I don't want to be seen as an authority. Like, I want to be BFFs with all my fucking clients and tell them that I love them all the time and I just want to be friends and blah, 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 blah. Like, you did not come into the industry to be somebody's BFF. You came in here to be an activator, to be a disruptor, to actually change someone's life. Because, spoiler alert, every single person that comes into the coaching world, whether you are a coach and a client or whether you are just a client, if you go to therapy, anything around the kind of work that we do, it is somebody who wants to change their identity. Even when it comes to something like health coaching, right? And somebody wants a super snatched hot bod, they have to change on an identity level in order to become the person that has a hot body right? Like that is something that people don't tell you because it's hard. It's hard to change who you are, but it's necessary. And it starts with how you see yourself, and you have to decide that you are good enough, that you are worthy, that it's not about deserving, and that the only way that you're going to get everything you want is A, you have to decide I'm worthy of having it, and B, you have to go the fuck after it relentlessly and with tenacity until you get it. Nobody is coming to hold a sign up at a certain benchmark, at a certain income level, to tell you, yep, here is the point where you're going to realize that this is what you're meant to do. This is who you're meant to be. You are the only person who can answer the question, who am I to do this? And you have to respond with, but who am I to not? Like, that question is irrelevant. Because who is anybody to do anything? The people that are doing things, that are doing big things, that are speaking on stages, that are making a lot of money, they just decided that they were worthy of it and that they could have it. And they did not let who am I to do this hold them back. I love you. I love you. I love you. And if who am I to do this is on constant repeat in the back of your mind, and you know that joining The Real Deal or working with me in one-to-one coaching is your next step, I am here when you're ready. The link is in my show notes. I'll see you guys next week.